I do have several questions based on your presentation. And first of all, I would like to ask, what are the strategic priorities in the trade sector in the Baltic Sea region, and which markets can be perceived strategic? As you mentioned, we were talking a lot about the export and import and machinery and automobile production in Lithuania. But at the same time, do we see changes in those priorities in the markets that was perceived as a strategic 5 years ago? Are they still remaining strategic now during the digitalization and all of those changes, or those priorities are shifting as well?
Well, I would say that the main focus or priorities haven't changed so much. It's still within the usual suspects, I would say. So for us, of course, a very important factor is Germany, as we are representing the official business side from Germany, but also Scandinavia. But I think, here we are entering also a political discussion and how far it makes sense maybe to also to strengthen business relationships, for example, with Russia. The UK, I would say, is now a very interesting topic. As I have shown also in my presentation, UK is a very important trading partner to the Baltic countries, especially Latvia and Lithuania. So I think this maybe should be made a priority in figuring out how the trade level can be kept with the UK, or if this is not possible, where we can find other trading partners, maybe even outside the European Union. Maybe if we look further to the east, to the Eastern Partnership, maybe between the EU, I don't know, Moldavia and so on. So maybe this would be an opportunity as well.
So talking about UK and especially coming back to Brexit topic, yesterday as well during discussion, Brexit topic come up, and the fact that foreign affairs policies or trading agreements are still being negotiated, are still being signed and still being revised. What is your forecast of how Brexit will impact those trading agreements, and how Brexit will impact that chain of supply that you mentioned so much, especially for Latvia and Lithuania, and how quickly the markets will see that change? And I guess, what is the strategic approach to try to mitigate that as much as possible?
Well, this is, of course, a very complex question, and I think nobody really has the answer here. So, as you said, as you have said yesterday, this was a big discussion point as well. I can only speculate. Now, for example, if we're going a little bit away from the trade of goods, if we look at the area of European Union programs like student exchange programs, like Erasmus Plus. This is also now outside of the scope, and it touches so many areas actually of life, not only trade. But I am optimistic that there will be a solution, but not in the short term. I think we will feel a certain impact, not only in the Baltic states, but throughout the European Union, but especially in the UK, they will feel it. And I think they have to figure out how to deal with the situation, because I think there's a mutual feeling that this was, even though it took such a long time, to negotiate the deals, but at the end, it still feels like that nobody is really prepared for it.
And as well, a lot of clarity missing in almost every sector in terms of policy and how those policies will be implemented. You were mentioning that export played a significant role in recovery during 2018 crisis, and as well looking for those export opportunities outside of the Europe. So the question from the Crowdcast audience we have is in terms of relocation of production facility and supply chain from China to emerging markets like India. Could that be a workable idea?
Well, I guess for India, certainly, right? It's the idea of reshoring applies to basically everybody, right? I mean, if a country would like to attract foreign investments, foreign businesses, then I think now it's a good time as ever to increase the efforts in creating favorable business conditions in order to attract these businesses. So if India is doing it, and if they are, positioning themselves as a valid alternative to China or to Asia, then by all means, India as well should go for it. But from the perspective of the European countries or businesses, I'm not sure if this is such a valid option, because, as I mentioned, we are talking here also about supply chains and bringing the whole production facilities closer to home, closer to the doorsteps. Then I think India wouldn't generate much more benefits than China, because if, for example, again, borders are closed or flights are cancelled, then it's a different thing to transport your produced goods, let's say from the Baltic states to other European countries, than to bring those goods from India. So basically you wouldn't really change the situation for the European businesses that are considering an option of reshoring. But for India, sure, I mean, they should consider this.
So talking about closer to the doorstep, you were mentioning about the business and trading relationships with Russia. However, the current political situation and as well the political advice that we received yesterday during discussion in terms of the Russian and Baltic Sea collaboration, do you see that political situation impacting business relationships, changing in any way soon? Or the Russia remains as a strategic partner in the business trading?
Again, a very difficult, complex question. I mean, it depends from what kind of perspective you are looking at. I mean, from a pure business perspective, I think Russia is a strategic partner. It holds a lot of potential. I mean, it's simply a huge market. For the Baltic states, especially, they're neighboring countries to Russia. I think from this perspective, it shouldn't be, be completely lost out of sight. But from a political perspective, sure, and I think it kind of definitely impacts also the business trade options there. So, I mean, I really do not want to go now into this political discussion here. Western Europe is certainly a very valid trading partner with which still holds a lot of opportunities and potential for the Baltic states. And again, from a German perspective, I can only say that the trade between Germany and the Baltic states is very good, and but still can be intensified, and there's a lot of things to do there.
Absolutely. In your last slide, you were talking about reshoring and the deglobalization as well. So do you think there is a strategy, and what is a strategic approach for all the Baltic Sea region countries to bring that trading or to bring that deglobalization within Baltic countries? And how can we bring that, let's say, in-house infrastructure to try to deglobalize?
Yeah, I think actually that the Baltic states are already doing their part here. I mean, all three countries, they have their export agencies and they are doing also a lot to attract foreign businesses, especially in Lithuania. There are these free trading zones with special incentives, for foreign investments in terms of, free tax incentives if a certain investment achieves or reaches a certain threshold of, I don't know how many million euros investment, then you're free of a certain tax for the next, I think, 10 years or something like this. So I think the the political will is definitely there. A lot of things are already being done. Now it's just just a matter of promoting this good opportunities for, let's say, European companies to relocate here to the Baltic states or to the Baltic Sea region, because I think really this would be a win-win situation for everybody.